Welcome back to my new account series. Like I mentioned in the last video, the first thing I wanted to do during DXP was level magic and defense up a bit for some help with early game quests and just general low level content. I ended part 1 having traded over a few different tiers of magic weapons and then getting into position at the Lumbridge Catacombs. I didn't really have a specific plan for training, but I'd seen a guide someone had made for leveling and it recommended that at 30 magic and defense you train at bandits. I tried this but ended up taking way too much damage for it to seem worth it with how often I would need to bank for supplies. So I went back to the cockroaches in the catacombs to train defense up for a bit, and then I realised that the Holy Grail quest gives you a load of defense XP. So I completed Merlin's Crystal and the Holy Grail, and the highlight of that was of course killing the iconic Black Knight Titan with its 2001 graphics still. And then the quest got me up to 39 defense, so after that I quickly finished off 40 at the cockroaches, and then that unlocked me a new tier of armor. I took a quick break from combats at this point to do my divine locations for the day, and I used the mining ones placed from my other account. I actually went from 1 to 17 mining, and that was without even reaching the daily cap. It also wasn't necessarily the smartest one to use at this point because the dig site quest will give you a load of mining XP and has no level requirement, so that's definitely something to consider if you're trying to be super efficient. And the other thing is, if you're doing divine locations, you want to extend your daily limit with Viswax. After this I trained my magic at bandits and I got to 50, and then my friend kindly offered to carry me through some ED1s for quick tokens. In order to reach the first elite dungeon you need to have access to the Ark, so I completed the mini quest impressing the locals. I knew that I'd be doing a lot of Herblore over DXP, so I wanted the scroll from Dungeoneering that gives you a chance to save a secondary, but it also creates that potion faster. So you need 49 Dungeoneering and 20,000 tokens to unlock it, and you get 5,000 tokens per mini boss killed. It really didn't take too many dungeons to get what I needed for the level and for the scroll. I also ended up getting another 8 or so magic levels doing this, and this used to be absolutely crazy XP, but they did nerf it so that you now get your XP based on the amount of damage you've done rather than just getting the full amount for tagging. You can still do something similar if you use another account to take all the aggro in Crit Bloom or any other tank gear with the Animate Dead spell and then kill on your ult. I didn't really feel like doing this, but it's definitely the way to go if you're going for the absolute fastest possible XP. After this I traded over some supplies for Herblore and I got started on those because I wanted to get 49 for the Dungeoneering scroll. I just followed the recommended wiki training guide and started with strength potions and then went on to energy potions when I could, but it was around this point at 35 Herblore that I realised I should get my fire making up so I had access to the Torstal sticks for that small XP boost. I ended up training in the clan citadel to take advantage of all the constant boosts and just worked my way up through the tiers of logs. Once I was at 75 making, I was actually boosted to 75 already because of one of the pulse cores or something else in the citadel, and these boosts were super handy because you'd constantly be able to train with methods that were 5 or so levels above where you were actually at, although it meant that my calculations for supplies were constantly way off and I just ended up with tons of everything left over. After unlocking the sticks I felt free to do whatever bank standing skill I could be bothered to do, so I went back to Herblore and then at 49 I quickly teleported to Dungeoneering to go buy the Scroll of Cleansing. I made prayer potions and then super strengths when I was boosted high enough, and something you should do if you're training similar to this is make 2 presets because you won't always be boosted high enough to make the next item, so you don't want to constantly be changing your preset obviously. So here I'd make super strengths when I could, and then when my level dropped back down too low for them I would do prayer potions, and this is something that I did throughout DXP for a variety of skills. Next I started making super restores and then doing some fire making when I just wanted something a bit more AFK. I haven't actually said it yet, but my goals for DXP were to unlock overloads, to get 84 crafting for all urns, and then work on buyable requirements for quests and stuff like ports. And you'll notice my agility has gone up a bit because I decided to use the Silverhawks in my bank that I had from keys, and honestly I should have just been using these 100% of the time during DXP, but for some reason I just didn't at the beginning, and after these run out I didn't buy any more for a while. I ended up charging them back up a bit later and then using them from then onwards, but it should have just been from the off. And then after that I started the crafting grind, and well, I say a grind, but it was so ridiculously quick that I don't think I can quite describe it as that. I did glass blowing until I was able to cut sapphires, then emeralds, rubies, diamonds, and finally dragonstones, and the XP rates were completely crazy. I had a look at my recording, and level 9 to level 53 literally took me 10 minutes. From this point I was just swapping between fire making magic logs, cutting dragonstones, and making potions depending on what I felt like doing. For herb lore I just kept making super restores until I could make super ranging potions, and then on to sour brews. I finished 84 crafting, which meant I had access to using every skilling urn, and then I went to do divine locations for the day, which got me to 40 mining, and that was a quest requirement that you'll see me need shortly. And another quest requirement I ticked off was 81 fire making, which is the highest level you need, so that was the end of my log burning adventures. And at this point in herb lore I started making adren potions because I had the idea to upgrade them to supers eventually when I could, and it just seemed like a good idea to make some of the untradeable potions that I'm going to most likely end up using in the future anyway. I wanted to train some smithing up because it's a requirement for the family crest quest, and I needed the gauntlets for some cooking on double XP. So I started by doing the knight sword quest, as that gets you 1 to 30 right off the bat, and then from then I just made the best plate bodies I could. So steel +1s, myth +2s, and then adamant onwards was just burials. And you want to train in the artisan workshop world, which is world 70, so you get all the boosts from the other players. 40 smithing is all you need for family crest, so I went quite a bit beyond that, and then when I could be bothered to leave and do the quest, I did that and then claimed the cooking gauntlets for future use. Now I went back to herb lore, making super adrenalines and then overloads when I could, and my goal here was to get high enough to boost to 104 herbs so I could make extreme cooking potions. So similarly to the extreme combat potions and overloads, the extreme skilling potions give you a boost dependent on your level, and that caps at level 82 you get a +17. So with cooking, for instance, at level 99 cooking with cooking gauntlets you won't burn any sailfish, but if you're level 82 and you've got gauntlets and an extreme cooking potion, then you'll be able to boost to 99, so you'll be able to get XP rates that are far above, your level. So that's what I went for here. Extreme cooking potions also have the highest herb lore requirement, so unlocking those means you have access to all the other ones as well for future use. It didn't take too long to reach this point because of how fast the XP is making overloads, so I made some extreme cooking potions when I could and then started cooking. And the highest level you need for a quest with cooking is level 70, but I went for 90 over double XP because that unlocks another character in ports. So from this point I was just juggling between herb lore, which was making extreme cooking potions and using up my overload supplies when I wasn't boosted, cooking, and that was just cooking through loads of different tiers of stuff using extreme potion and urns, and then smithing, which, like I said before, I just did the best burial plate body whenever I could, and I was just doing whatever I felt like at the time really. I took a break from all of that to go do my divine locations for the day, and that got me another few mining levels. And then after that I actually went back to the trolls in Berthorpe because I wanted to get 40 range to do some early game quests which give you a bit of a head start in thieving and fletching. I'm going to leave this video here though, because from this point onwards the next batch of footage is quite quest heavy, so I think it's just a good start point to have a fresh video for it. And this was all recorded a couple of weeks ago and I've been recording everything I've done on this account, so I will get back through editing all of it and try and collate it into episodes just to show my progress. So hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching.